Welcome again to the 2022 Solar Car Challenge Specialty Workshop. I wish that we were holding this in person where I can see you guys face to face, but we just want to make sure that everyone is safe, and so we're holding this virtual, hoping that this pandemic will ease up a bit in the future, and then we can get back to our normal way of running things. I want to let you know that Dr. Marks won't be able to join us today. He is out sick with the flu, and so he's at home resting. And so I will MC this particular specialty workshop. Okay. Looks like there's already a question. So a bit of logistics of how we're going to run this thing. In our normal Zoom webinar method, you can either enter in questions or chat via typing. And then, of course, if you want to raise your hand, we will also allow you to speak and then and share a bit. So just want to make sure that that's what we're doing. So so for those who are not used to the Zoom webinar interface, the panelists, essentially the presenters of the Zoom webinar will be able to be seen on video, and then the attendees will be able to go and type in or chat, and then from there we will go ahead and you can also raise your hand, and we'll allow you to talk and share. With that, we have a lot of great presenters that are going to be providing you information today, and we have over 60 participants who have signed up to join, and so we're excited to have everyone join in this specialty workshop. Knowing that you can't really see everyone who's in the room, I would like to go around and at least have all the panelists introduce themselves who are on right now. We'll have more join in the future. And then for those who are attending the webinar, if you want to raise your hand, we'll go ahead and allow you to talk and introduce yourself as well. And so I'll start. I'm William Shih. I'm the Deputy Race Director here at the Solar Car Challenge. I first participated in 1997 as a high school student. Since then, I graduated with an engineering degree in college and have come back on race staff to be Deputy Race Director. And then I also spent a couple years in 2005 and 2015 advising the Walnut High School Solar Car team. And so I've had a bit of experience both being a student participant, being an advisor, and then being on staff here. And so I'll pass this along to Chris.
Okay, I don't know if my video is showing or not, or okay, we're on here all live the whole time. Cool. My name is Chris Jones. A few of you, if you're returning, probably know me. Just like William, we started on the same team back in 1997. I'm the chief judge for the event, in addition to being one of the foundation board members for our organization. Again, a lot like William's story, I got a degree in instead of computer engineering, mechanical engineering way back when, and I have been doing this since 1997 without a break. So I feel very old now. I never thought I'd actually have my own kids, and they're eventually going to be the age to participate in this event. So that's really disturbing to me. Anyways, happy to be here with you guys. I will do my best to help out with William, if you guys have questions, getting them flagged, things like that. And I think there's going to be a couple of topics I might be covering a little later today. So great to be here. Wish I could see everybody in person, but happy that we're at least getting to meet like this.
Thanks, Chris. I'll hand it off to Joel and Brian.
My name is Joel Pitts. I'm with Greenville Iron Line Solar Car team. We've been participating since 2012. So this will be our 10th race to do, because we didn't race in 2020. And we're really known for sharing any information that any team would want to know. So I look forward to hearing all the questions you have and how this workshop folds out.
Thanks,
Brian.
Joel. Is Brian nearby?
Hello, my name is
Right.
Brian Coleman. I'm with Somerset Solar Jumpers out of Somerset, Kentucky. Formerly, for previous years with Bath County out of Bath County, Kentucky. And this will be this. We ran 2 years at Bath County in 2019 and in 21, and this will be the first year for Somerset.
Thanks, Brian. Robert?
Hi, my name is Robert Gopfrith. I'm the faculty advisor for the Keller Center for Advanced Learning Solar Car team. And this is about my 5th year with the race, but this will only be my 2nd year to race. So we've been dancing around this for a while. I'm a 19-year teacher, and I've been here at Keller Center for Advanced Learning in Keller, Texas for about 5 years. Before that, I was in industrial tech sales and management, serving factories for maintenance, repair, and operations support. So,
Thanks, Robert. And then if there are any folks in the attendee list who would like to introduce themselves, feel free and raise your hand and we'll get your audio in.
My name is Enrique Elias. I am the advisor for the Solar Car for Prosper. We started in 2016. That was our first year. And we're just having fun. I am a licensed professional engineer. I've been teaching for 12 years. Before that, I've been in the industry in different areas. And just like you all said, I mean, any question, I'm always open to answer.
Okay, well, let's get started. There are, a bunch of other teams that have joined us as well. And if we were in a room together, you'd see a lot of folks sign on. I think we have a nice mix of returning teams and new teams. And so this would be a great opportunity for us to be able to share information. I encourage those who are having any questions to bring them up. This is meant to be an interactive format as much as we can be interactive on a Zoom webinar interface. But I want to welcome you to the 2022 Solar Car Challenge. As I shared, I raced here in 1997 as my first race. And when I think about why I participated in the Solar Car Challenge and why you should participate in the Solar Car Challenge, this project is really a great project to learn problem solving and collaboration. It's such a big project. It's not something that you can do in the course of just a couple weeks. And you really need to have a team of people who you can collaborate with. You collaborate with professionals that you bring in from the community, and you just sort of start figuring things out. And that was the enjoyment of this type of project. Of course, with a project like this, you learn the need to have a dedication and commitment to the project. And for students out there, this is probably going to be one of the biggest things you do in high school, the level of dedication and commitment that's needed. And, I think that's a great, valuable learning experience for you as you get started in your high school career and then on to college. I think one of the things that you'll learn with being in a project like this is the do not quit attitude. The idea that it's going to get tough. There's going to be a lot of challenges that you'll learn along the way. And you'll have to figure out, well, how do I keep going? How do I get all of everything done so that I can put a car together in time for the race? And I think that when you learn that, you'll be able to apply that in all areas of your life. It's a great project-based engineering learning experience, right? It's not just a book smart type of thing, but you'll actually get your hands dirty, be able to apply all the things that you learned in the project or in engineering to the project, building your solar car, and then learning how the electrical aspects work, learning how to do power management. We'll go through a lot of this throughout the specialty workshop. But other things you'll learn as part of the project is learning how to deal with success and failure. You know, you have the best of plans when you lay out a design up front. And then as you start building things and as you start sort of testing your car, you'll see that, well, these things worked out and that was great and we can improve upon that. And then these other areas, there's didn't quite work out. And so you'll learn how to deal with those things, how to sort of use the successes that you have and build upon them, and then to learn from your failures. Certainly back in '97, we went and built a car and tested it in March, April timeframe, and we found out that it was not able to go the speed and distance that we wanted. And that was, a big thing because we built the car for 7 months and we weren't quite able to get the car that we wanted. But instead of saying, well, I guess we're done, we learned and said, hey, what could we do to improve this? And we ended up rebuilding our car and was able to get the car to participate in the 1997 Solar Car Challenge. And so I think a project like this really gets you to learn how to deal with both successes and failures. And a project like this is not just an engineering project, right? You've got a lot of the business and community outreach aspects as well. You have to learn how to deal with budgets, right? Because you're going to have to learn how to fundraise for your car. You're going to have to reach out to the community to get sponsors to fund you. You're going to need to reach out to the community just as a way of sharing who you are and what you're working on. And so that was a neat part of that while I came in with an engineering project in mind, I was able to learn how to speak more in the public and how to really try to understand the money coming in and the money going out. And ultimately, I had a great time learning the importance of teamwork and being able to, just learn how to interact with different team members that join. In a project like this, you may have a lot of different people who don't know one another, and you get to learn and you get to spend time in the trenches with one another. And I would have to say that the friends that I still spend time with from my high school days are from the Solar Car Challenge experience, and we still keep in contact to this day. So with regard to 2022 and the dates that are coming up, if you have not already done so and you plan to race in this summer's race, please go to our website and fill out an intent to race form. That allows us to be able to send you information about what's going on, event updates for various different aspects of the race as you prepare. And then the big deadline initially is the registration deadline. So please keep in mind March 1st. That's when you'll fill out the registration form and submit it with associated mechanical drawings, electrical schematics, data sheets for the major parts that you select, a team picture, and all those things. So keep that in mind. Once you've registered, then we're looking at all the event prep things like submitting your oral presentation, which will be worth a certain number of miles in the race. Your team scrapbook, that's supposed to document your progress along the way to show that, yes, you as the team designed and built the car, and then the engineering decisions that you made along the way. This is a road race this year. And so what's really important is to have your liability insurance provided to the race by July 1st, so that we can get you your experimental vehicle license plates so that you can drive on the road. And then we get to the event, and we'll have our team check-in on July 13th. Anyone who's going to participate in the event needs to be there at team check-in. It's important because that's where we do all the badging of credentials, and we ultimately, with the team orientation, provide you all the information that you need for the event. And so it's really important that anyone who's going to participate in the event this year be there at team check-in. We'll then follow that up with 3 days of scrutineering or vehicle inspections, where we make sure that the vehicles that you brought meet the rules and are safe to drive on the road. And then we're off to the races, where we start our cross-country race on July 17th, where we will be driving to Colorado. The specific race route has not been finalized yet, and so we're not ready to share that today, but we will be sharing that as soon as the race route is finalized, and we'll issue that via an event update and provide that to you via email and also on our website. And so, but we look forward to being on the road and just visiting the various communities that are along the way. What's new in 2022? We are still in the process of re-looking at our crush zone, roll cage, and roll bar rules. We're just trying to convey what we're intending with those 3 structural components. You know, and we'll talk a bit more about this when we get into the mechanical section of our workshop tomorrow. But we want to make sure that those 3 structural components are really providing what's needed to protect the driver, especially on a road race like this. And then, you know, we're really excited about the new cruiser division that we instituted and had a car last year. You know, this cruiser division allows you to create a 4-wheel car that can seat 4 passengers. And so there's what's exciting about this is that you get to strategize about how many passengers you want to put in at any given time, and then you get credit for the essentially person miles that you drove. So, you know, at some point you decide that you just want to have 1 driver, you'll get 1 mile per mile driven. And then later on, you want to add a couple more drivers, and then you might get 3 person miles per mile driven. So there's a bit of strategy about when to add passengers to your vehicle, when to not, in what terrain, especially on a road race, what terrain would you like to do that? It's going to be exciting. What's also neat about this particular division is that it's a totally enclosed body with the array on the skin of the car. and a trunk. So it's really meant to demonstrate a more practical use of a solar car. And so we were excited to see our first entry in the cruiser division from the Prosper team, and they brought that out last year, and we're excited to see future teams bring their vehicle. Here is a CAD drawing of FAU High School's cruiser division car that they want to bring. So we're looking forward to seeing what designs that you have in store for the cruiser division. Now let's get started preparing for the 2022 Solar Car Challenge. And when we start that, let's take a look at our ultimate philosophy for this race. For those who are returning teams, you know that the Solar Car Challenge is pretty much a cooperation rather than competition. And you heard in the introduction with Joel and with Enrique, and I'm sure all the other returning teams will share that, this is not a cutthroat, I'm going to get first place type of competition. It's really a, how can we help one another succeed? And so you'll see a lot of teams when they're complete with their particular activities for the day, they'll go out and share their expertise with others, help other teams get into the competition during scrutineering, and then lend parts to one another, lend team members to one another if they need drivers. This is the great part of this competition, is to how we can all help each other out in succeeding in this race. Where do we start? If you're starting a new team, where do we start? You start with building a team and figuring out, what do you do? How do you build a team? And Robert will talk a bit more about that in the following presentation. But some of the things you have to think about is, how big of a team are you going to have? What are the specific specialties that you need to have? Do you have a larger team that can get a bunch of stuff done, but if there's not as many tasks to do on a particular day, some of it might be idle. But if you have a too small of a team, you can't get all the things that you need to do done. And so some of the considerations that you have to have. You want to make sure that you do have enough team members to accomplish the tasks involved. It takes a lot of people to do the various different aspects of solar car construction and then operations as well. Think about what it takes to actually run a solar car team on the road. The type of people that you need, not only drivers, but people who are deciding strategy, navigators, and the like. From then, you'll want to develop the role of a team captain, and it's important to have a single point of contact or a couple point of contacts that can help lead and drive the project to completion. And so we'll talk a little bit more about that in the upcoming presentation as well. The other thing that needs to be considered is the team vested in the project? This goes back to the level of dedication and commitment that's needed, right? This project is essentially a year-long, or for some teams, 2 or 3 year-long project. And you want team members who are really wanting the project to succeed and willing to put in the time and effort it takes to get it to the finish line. One of the things that we did in the Walnut Solar Car team is to have an application and interview process for team members, where those who want to be on a team would submit why they want to be on there, affirm or commit to being at the various workshops that we'd have to build the car. And we would actually interview them and check whether or not they had that level of commitment to be part of the team. And then you want to look at not only how do you get and form a team, but how do you get the parents involved to be part of the project? Because if you're a single advisor, that's difficult, right? To be able to lead the entire team just by yourself. You really need some parents to come alongside you to help out, or some community members to come and help you out. And then to think through, okay, the rest of the stuff, how do we sort of go forward into building a team for the long term, that you have team members that are from the various different classes, freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior. And so that as students graduate, then the team continues to pass along that legacy to the other folks. The next thing you want to do, and one of the very important parts of being part of a team, is to read the rules together. We're going to go through some of the important rules for constructing a vehicle, but we were asked one time, hey, which rules are important and which rules aren't, or which rules are you not going to enforce? We're going to enforce all the rules, right? The rules are important. The rules provide a level playing field for everyone to be able to essentially build something that has no performance advantages compared to other folks. We will talk more in detail about the specific rules later in the workshop, and so we'll go through some of the commonly missed rules or misinterpretations of rules. We'll walk you through that during that particular session. One of the important things to do is to read the rules together many times, meaning that you don't just do it up front and read the rules and then set it down and say, okay, I'm done. But as you build the car and through the months of the project, go back to the rules. Make sure that you are still the decisions that you've made in your engineering design still matches and meets the rules that are laid out.
Hey, William, sorry, there's a question for you.
Yes. Yes,
I don't know which person it is. If you want to raise your hand, you can ask the question in person, or I can read it off if you prefer.
No. So the question was, what is the most commonly missed rule or reason for disqualification during scrutineering? And there is a session on that later to talk about the rules. That's going to be a session tomorrow on the rules for 2022 race, and then we'll talk through some of the common misinterpretations of the rules that we've seen in the past. Thanks, Chris. Okay, and then the importance of building skills. One of the neat things about a project like this is we end up learning a lot of new trade skills that we wouldn't have without this project. I know that when I was on the solar car team as a student, I did not know how to weld, I did not know how to solder, I did not know how to do any of these things. And it was really part of this project that I was able to learn those things, and then I was able to use those skills later on in my life. And so this has been a great learning experience for me as a student. And then,
so sorry, can you go back one slide? I just want to add something to that so that everybody knows. I'm actually currently a director, associate director at Raytheon. So we're a defense contractor. I'm also a hiring manager, and I've hired about, 40 to 50 people, somewhere in there. And I wanted to tell you that one of the things that I look for, and I've seen other hiring managers look for our early career hires, people fresh out of college or even internships, are any experience like this. Any experience where somebody has had hands-on problem-solving work that they've done, where they can demonstrate an aptitude outside of the book learning in the classroom. Something like this has always been huge for me. The only time I actually really focused on GPA for the candidates, and again, I'm talking about early career, was when I had nothing else to judge them on, which is a little bit tough for me. And those tended to be lower in the stack than somebody that could demonstrate that they've got real world experience doing something and could talk to me about it. So I don't want to understate the importance of this. I mean, literally, I'm talking about people that are going to be putting stuff in space. I will hire the ones that I've seen have some outside ability and have some outside experience. Not to mention that it just puts them head and shoulders above the other people around them that don't have that kind of experience. And engineering is all about problem solving. So even though you might not be building a solar car frame, you won't, the problems that you face, the challenges you overcome, and that attitude and approach, that maps exactly over to what you will be doing as an engineer going forward. So this is just one experience, but I do want to say, as a hiring manager who's done this for space, that this is absolutely critical to me, that I see a candidate that has some outside relevant experience like this. I've also in the past told people in the challenge that they could reach out to me too when they were looking for internships. And who knows, that might be the case again when we get to this year's event. But I just can't understate the importance of the skills that the kids get out of this project and how valuable that can be later on in life. I honestly don't care if a college applicant puts something like this that they did in high school on their resume. That's still big to me. These cars are 10,000 plus man hours. It's not a small project. It's worth talking about. Anyways, William, I will get off my high horse now. I just wanted to emphasize that point.
Thanks, Chris. I appreciate the perspective, right? It's a project like this has not just benefits for getting into college, but along the, in your future career as well. And so definitely you'll learn a lot, not only the skills that you might use on the side and hobbies, but, in your professional career as well. And then, you'll learn the importance of setting goals and following a timeline. A project like this is a long-term project, right? It's a year long. And so you'll learn how to plan out your tasks so that you can get to completion. And we're going to talk a little bit later today about project management and how to plan that out. And then, of course, the key part is you'll learn the importance of testing. Ultimately, we have teams that come to the race without putting a single mile on the car. And it's really difficult to succeed without having some type of data involved. And ultimately, there were teams that came to the race in 2019 that never tested their vehicle. It wasn't quite done yet. And they ended up not being able to finish the scrutineering process. And so, one of the key recommendations that we'd have is plan to finish early enough so that you can get 500 miles on your solar car before you get to a race. That way you can shake out any issues that you have with the car. You get a sense of how your car performs, that you're able to be to characterize, speed versus energy taken. You'll be able to work out some of the logistics about who drives and what happens when you pull off the side of the road and all that stuff. But by putting that amount of miles on your car, then you're able to make sure that your car works. And when you come to scrutineering, you will be able to fly straight through that. From there, of course, once you finish racing and you get a sense of, hey, yeah, we did great this particular race year, then you hold a post-race evaluation where you can celebrate your successes, that you're able to do a bit of team building and really just bring the team together and say, look at what we did, and then spend some time thinking through, hey, how can we improve? I know that one of the neat things as we come back from a race every year is, hey, how can we start changing car to add this or that, or to improve this or that? And by the time when we were driving home from Texas to California, we'd probably have a completely new solar car design after just driving home. And so it's a neat part of the race. And so I think that this project has just been a life-changing project for me, and I just look forward to seeing what you guys will be putting together as you prepare for the 2022 Solar Car Challenge.